This analyzes the effect of capital structure on the cost of capital. After the analysis, MM concluded that capital structure and the value and the cost of capital are related. So, like what we saw in a, if you remember our MM2 with tax, without tax, it was that capital structure and value firm are not related, because in that case they ignore the tax. Now, if we look at this preposition in MM2, if I can sketch it, let me see if I can sketch it. If I can sketch this in MM2, we have that. We have this. Our cost of debt is constant. Cost of equity, the moment you introduce cost of equity, if you remember our previous part, the moment you introduce cost of equity, I mean the cost of debt, the cost of equity increases. But due to the tax benefit introduced, associated with the debt, the overall cost of capital is going down like this. So this is your wachacha. This is our KD, and this is our KE. I don't know why it is. This is our KE. And our KE, if you remember in MM1, MM2 without tax, we said it is cost of ungeared plus cost of ungeared minus cost of debt times the debt tax shield, which is 1 minus T, times D over E. It's almost similar to what we saw in MM2 without tax. Only that in this case, in MM with MM2 with tax, we are recognizing this tax benefit. So it means the investor is enjoying the benefit of using a cheap debt, which is KU minus KD, plus this benefit of a tax. So because of this benefit of tax, it makes the overall cost of capital to go down. So meaning capital structure and the cost of capital are related. That is the conclusion from this. So as debt is introduced, KE increases due to the financial risks. So due to the financial risks. But because the equity holders are compensated with the benefit of cheap debt and tax benefit, the wachacha decreases. So that's capital structure and cost of capital are related. In simple terms, that is what we can look at. You can look at this. So as you are introducing the debt, the moment you introduce the debt, because the debt is associated with the financial risks, your KE will increase. The moment you introduce the debt into the business, automatically the KE is going to increase. But you are compensating equity holders with both the benefit of using a cheap debt, which is associated with the tax benefit. The overall cost of capital is going to go down. So because the overall cost of capital is going down as you are increasing the debt, so we conclude that capital structure and the cost of capital are related. That is the conclusion in this case. Members, in most especially when you are dealing with the cost, you want to determine the cost of an GRD, or cost of a GRD business, depending on the data you have. This formula is very key when you are determining the cost of an GRD business. So there is this question I want us to look at briefly before we start something else. It is let me sketch it.
So excuse.
Yes, please.
What are cheap debt that was introduced? That was
The debt, because
equity.
we said that the debt is cheaper. The debt is cheaper compared to the cost of capital. I mean to equity.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So the moment you are going to introduce the debt into the business, automatically
In the formula, formula we have the debt over equity.
Yes.
What is the logic behind that formula? We understand that the cost and the cost of
you are multiplying
business.
the proportion of debt to equity, the gearing level, the level of gearing.
I can see it and recognize it that is the level of gearing.
Yes.
Why do we multiply with that? If we have taken the cost of an geared minus cost of the debt, that is the benefit of using debt.
Yes.
Why do we again multiply with the level of gearing?
The proportion. I don't know how you can. The proportion of what you have as the debt capital. The proportion of debt to equity, because that's what we want to determine. That's the one that is causing this KE to increase. But it's going to depend on how much you have invested.
Yeah, because for me, I see that plus cost of ungeared minus cost of debt is sufficient to indicate that this is the benefit we are adding to the cost of.
But you look at because the increase in the KE is going to depend on how the proportion you are investing. As you are increasing more debt, the KE is going to increase. That's why you need to look at the proportion.
Okay. What is that past paper?
Yeah?
This is past paper of which period?
That's the one I'm going to tell you. Let me first see. It is March 2022, I think. Is this the one I'm opened? Let me see. It was question number what? Let me go through again. It's March 2022, I think. March 2022. Question number, because I've only copied one part. March 2022. Question number 4, number number 3, part B. So let's go through it, and then the summarized statement of financial position below relates to Akanji Limited for the financial year ended as at 31st December 2021. So we have the PPE, we have the total asset. Then down here, the equity and liabilities, we have ordinary share capital, 500 million. The par value is 1,000. We have a 10% redeemable debenture with a par value of 1,000 is 200. We have current liabilities, which are these. And the other relevant information, if you check the other relevant information, it says the cost of an GRD business is 14. So if I check my data, if I summarize my data here, data given, I have the KU, which is 14% as the KU given. Then I have, and the current market price of share is 9450. PO for shares is 950. Then the irredeemable debenture has a market value. PO for irredeemable debenture yes. No, cyangwa ujya hari unzaniye ipapari ebyiri gusa. Oya jya hari unzaniye papayi. Angahe? Uzana ebyiri. PO, it is a, sorry, I was buying some fruits. PO is a 11,000. The corporate income tax, we have our T equal to 30%. The company is proposing issuing an additional debenture of 100 million to finance its investment. So then we have the par value of shares, which is given. Par value of share which is 1,000, and the par value of debt is par value of debt is why am I writing the things that don't come in? Per value of debt is also 1,000. Now, if we are answering, determine the optimal value of the firm under the Modigliani and the Miller theory. Remember, when we are determining the optimal value, our VG, if you are using, in that case, you are using Modigliani and the Miller one.
Why?
Yeah? That's
What
where
you say it is what?
Because there is tax. You are looking at Modigliani and the Miller with tax.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So it means if you are looking at Modigliani and the Miller with tax, it is VU, value of ungeared business, plus the debt tax sheet. Now, what do we have in this case? Do we have the value of ungeared? If you check in our question. Now, what's the current value of this company? If you look at it. So if you are looking at the current, what's the current value of equity? Because this value is already a geared business, it has a debt. How many shares the company have? If I go back to my statement, it has got a share capital of 500 and the par value is 1,000. We have already summarized that. So it means it's going to be 500 divided by 1,000 then times 950. So I'm getting 500 divided by 1000 times 950. That's the current value. Then what is the current value of debt? VD will be the current value of debt. The par value is 200. Wana riri ndiriri bana pome ndivyo sawa hizi nagomba kucho kuzana ibintu bikiririse oya nazungurizo ngezi izi nangara